Okay. More coffee. More coffee, guys. All right. So up first, we've got Leo Luck. Let me make sure that this is going to open correctly. Ugh. Okay, so Leo. Oh, buddy. So, dude, propping wise, this scene's pretty dope. There's a lot of stuff going on. Um, that is a whole lot of blood back there. That, like, I think someone was like standing on this chair and they're just like, "Hey, guys, I know what to do." And then he just exploded. Like like just that's a whole lot of blood. But so when we look at this scene, it's compositionally, like layout wise, it's quite strong. Um, but where it's kind of breaking down is it doesn't feel like there's anything for you to focus on. It's just kind of there's a lot of stuff happening. So I think because of how chaotic it is and how grim the situation is, you kind of want this whole scene to be dark. Like you want the power out, and then you hit a few key lights. Like you have a few key lights that are on, and then the rest is kind of just getting lost into the darkness, right? So you get dark, moody, terrifying. Maybe this light is low dim, and then you can emphasize socialism on there. All the other lights, you probably want them off. Maybe this light could be on, and you can have that kind of highlighting a bunch of stuff over here. But like you could have the light here, let's like flickering on every once in a while, and it's really emphasizing the fact that there's this blood here. Occasionally a spark going off from the wires in the ceiling, kind of illuminating this area. But you want it dark. It has flickering. I mean that's good, but the scene overall is super bright. Like the lighting is so uniform that it's hard to make sense of the space. Like I can understand the space, and I know that like I could walk this way and go around this and then go over here and walk around that. And I probably wouldn't want to go into there because of the sparks. But visually it's quite difficult to focus on anything in particular. There's a lot of stuff going on in it though, which I like. Like this pile of stuff here should just be kind of silhouetted with some rim lighting based off of like how the lights are positioned. And I feel like you could get a lot more mood if the lighting was kind of like the lighting does not look like it's affected by the fact that this place is in complete shambles and there's stuff hanging off the sides of the walls and some dude exploded in the back. The ship in the back, the satellite looking thing, that's pretty cool. I think it's kind of hard to tell that it's. I mean, I think if you look back there long enough, you recognize what that is. I think if there was a shape of a planet or some type of moon or something, maybe not a moon, some type of like another planet. Maybe if you see Mars back there or something, or Jupiter. In general, though, it's a pretty cool scene and it's populated quite well now. It's more about the lighting assisting you with your composition because there's no like focal point currently. I think the focal point's maybe the blood, but everything is kind of very similar in range. So just I guess keep that in mind. Yeah. Is it Milan? Current progress on my scene. I would love to hear your opinion on it. I'm in the middle of doing some lighting and finishing up the back area. This scene's huge, dude. You trying to fight with Leo? Leo is like known for making giant scenes, and this is like terrifying. Bumba, you missed it, man. I said Tad. You missed out, dude. So this looks pretty cool. Compositionally, quite strong. Quite strong. I love the layering in the back. And then these giant shapes in the distance. Super cool. Super, super cool. In general, I think it's looking pretty good. These giant round things, I'm trying to, I guess they're just giant like gas container type things. This is, man, I'm trying to think what else you could. So you've got, so there's some lighting going, some internal lighting going on here. And you've got these two lights that are pointing this way. I wonder if they need to be pointing more down. And then maybe like you need some other lights that incorporate the scene together. Like this shape here, maybe there's a light that's built into it that's shining this way. Or maybe there's a light up here. Oh man, that gets difficult. I want to say maybe if there was a light here that was shining over here that gives you the ability to have some nice shadows and stuff like that and highlight some elements, that could be really good. Yeah. It's difficult though, because I know if you put the light here and you shine it this way, you're gonna get this huge like band of like of kind of like a God ray effect on top of this, which is gonna kind of block the scene. It might be worth not having these lights and focusing more on like underlighting that's part of the structures. And I think the other thing that's missing is maybe like advertising or signage that implies like super corporations or companies. Yeah, Pontus is saying it. Propaganda posters on the wall on the left. Yeah, so you need things that ground the situation or give you a sense of scale, because you can tell that everything is huge here, but I guess a person is like this tall over here. But then these details here are telling me that maybe they're smaller. I don't know. It's difficult. Maybe this is a high fence. So knowing like adding elements that help give a sense of scale would be really good. I actually, now that I keep looking at it, and I think these two lights don't help at all. I think they should be more along the lines of lights like this, or like, let me see here. If you go here, like if these areas, oops, we're kind of like this color. Oh man, this is not working at all. Here. So if you're doing lighting like this, I get a nice gradient in there. I think you get the point, but but yeah, if you're doing stuff like that, I think that could be pretty impactful. And remember too, like if there's any lights on these buildings, depending on how far away they are, you will get that kind of same effect. Whoops. Where are we at here? Like even though it's in the distance, you're going to have the same, because lighting will penetrate the atmosphere while all the other elements are kind of like lost. So just remember that when if you add lights in the distance, they're going to kind of come through the atmosphere. In general though, I mean, this scene's looking pretty cool. Any way that you can add an emphasis to like things like this here. Like we know that this is a side, right? So if there's a way to like, this is a terrible way of doing this. You're already doing it a little bit, but if there was some form of lighting that was causing this to happen. But I think you get the point. Anywho, in general, this is looking dope, man. I'm excited for it. Be careful with the shapes here. And then this one's here like this, and then You might want to have that one drop off sooner. I don't know. In general, dope. Dope, dude. Looking really cool. But I would think about where you're going to place the lighting in order to kind of bring the emphasis. Because right now I think the focus is here. And if you want it to be elsewhere, make sure that you identify that. Also, dude, look at Batman stuff. Because they do a lot of like large scale Gotham City type work where Batman's like chilling in an area. And that area tends to be in shadow. Like this whole platform area could just be quite dark with a few key lights. All right, up next we've got why is it saying that? What? Dude, Matthew O would love this. Batman's never chilling. He's just up there perched, just like, where are they? He's just like, I can't see them. It's like, dude, you're way up there. You're way too high up there. There's no way you can see them. Where are they? So environment that I'm close to finishing up, would love some feedback on composition and lighting of the scene. Thanks. And then a few more angles in that link. Okay, so I mean, this looks pretty rad. And I like that these are off. Maybe the camera could be a little bit higher. Let's see. I'm always scared about ImageGur because I have no idea what's going to be on the side here. This shot, super strong. This one's really cool. I think actually if you did this view, dude, Bruce Lee, yeah. If you did this shot but then pulled it back to a distance like this, then you can get your tube lights in there and really like focus on the detail work of this. And in general, this is a pretty cool scene. Dang, this is, yeah. So, the blueprint stuff feels a little flat. So maybe if you were to take the blueprints and curl some of them up or wrap some of them. Amazam, I like Amazam. That's very good. That's very good. Hey, wherever you have barcodes and stuff like this, if you put QR codes in there, you can generate QR code links. So if you want people to like get back to your portfolio, if they see a QR code, they might think like, oh man, maybe I can scan it, and then they scan it, and then it's good to go. But yeah, the smoke's doing something weird here. That might be because of the way the screenshot tool is generating it. So like the particles are moving at the same time the screenshot is trying to grab it. There was the trick that I was talking about earlier. So if I copy this image, not earlier this stream, but like in another stream. So if you dupe the layer and then go here and then do an other and do a high pass, you can sharpen up you can add a little bit of a highlight to the edges you want. And then you just go here and you do a overlay. And you can see what it's doing to the image. Tightens up a lot of the details. Look at what it does here. So you could do that, and then you could add like a mask, invert the mask, and then paint it where you want, like focal points. So if you want it here, you can just have everything sharp here, and then maybe over here, because this is such a highlight, you want to make sure that area is sharp. This could be sharper. This spot, maybe here. And here. And yeah, like if I go back like this and do this, now you can see like what you want to have pop. You do that. And then if it's still a little too strong, you can go back to the layer and then you can drop the opacity and then just turn it up. So it's a combination of like doing the high pass, then doing the mask, and then controlling the opacity of the layer so that you can choose how sharp it gets. Because like look what it does to the back wall, right? And it's really interesting too, because you could select the mask and then just make sure that the wall isn't receiving a lot of that. So that that stuff doesn't get too crunchy. And then the focus is maintained on the weapon. Yeah, this trick's super old school. But yeah. In general, this is looking pretty nice. I think it's about there. If you could get some... Nah, I think it might be all right. Whoa, this song. That's terrifying. I like how this isn't really stronger than normal. So that's really, really nice. But yeah, if you could bring the camera up a little bit so you can see all the stuff that's happening on the table, but still keep the light source in shot, that would be pretty cool. Making sure that the smoke looks all right coming from the cigarette. And honestly, I think if you're having issues with the smoke, just do it in Photoshop. It's fine. It's just the cigarette. And if someone's like, "Dang, how did you do that?" You can just say it's Photoshop. I didn't want to waste the time trying to figure out particles. Maybe these two could be a different color from each other. I know that this is more of like an orange and this is red. If this was even further away from the color of this, you get a better separation between the two. You think the smoke is a flip book at the moment? Is that ammo laying on the ground? Talking about this stuff here. Some kid drawings in there, dude. I feel like there's a reason this is here. You missed the trick? Okay, so the trick is duplicating the layer, going up here to filter, other, do a high pass, and then the goal is to emphasize these little elements. And then you take that layer and you overlay it. And if you look at the layer, you can see that it actually sharpens up those elements. Can get a little contrasty, so you need to be careful with it and make sure that it's quite tight. And then you can just put a mask on it and then paint, invert the mask so that doesn't happen. And then in the mask, in the mask, paint where you want it to happen. So you can use that to kind of draw attention and focus. And yeah. You've tried that to up-res the texture. So, I mean, if it's a portfolio, don't even worry about, like, just make the textures higher res, totally fine. It's a portfolio piece. The other thing you could do is when you render out of Unreal, I suggest you always do this, is render it out with it super sampled. Get the screenshots at like a 4K, 8K, and then down res it. 4 or 8K, down res it, and you will get a nice, sharp, crisp look. And natural aliasing, or anti-aliasing, I mean. Anyways, really strong. I don't have too much to say on it. Bumby in chat is saying some depth of field might help focus too. Definitely agree with that. If you need to, you can take the background and kind of blur that out if you need to, just to help separate the wall from the table. But yeah, really strong piece. Panic, what's up, man? A scene I did a while ago. I'm planning on doing something similar. I have not clicked on this. It's like, I'm scared. Ooh, dude. Ooh, this is cool. Ooh, I like this. I'm a sucker for this whole temple thing. This is dope. So, your question is, would love to hear your critique on this. So, oh, that's cool. So I think your albedo or your base colors are just too dark. Let me copy this and see if that's even something I can mess with in here. Did you actually give me the... Yeah, you gave me the lighting too with the... Okay, maybe I can even... Let's see. It's not the same. It's not the same. Whoops. Let me just check. See. No, that's not. That is not doing it. Anyways, so if we look at this, so in general, I think the scene looks pretty good. Everything has kind of got a very similar roughness value. It would be really interesting to see certain elements in here take on more of a metal attribute, just for the pop. So like if you were to take, I'm just gonna mark it in blue so that we can see it. So if these details here, just smooth this out a little bit. If these details here were like a metal and these were metal, you get that nice kind of reflective property. That'd be really cool. Because you can dirty it up too, right? Like there's moss on it, so maybe some of this, like in this area, is kind of broken down and is not really emphasized anymore. But there's just nice elements, and then maybe the eyes are like a metal. These are metal, like just the rings themselves. This line here. Yeah, man. Dude, this would look really cool with the little metal attribute to it, like a gold. Yeah. I mean, I think that if maybe these had a little bit more pop to them. Just make sure I don't grab that part. Oh, wait, what am I doing? So if this was receiving a little bit more of the bounce light, that would be pretty helpful. This guy too could use a little bit of dude, in general though, this shot is really cool. It's a really cool scene. But you can see what that's doing, right? How much that helps. Like this guy too. And I mean there's even foliage there as well, so it's pretty difficult to just do this. And then we'll add a mask and we'll invert the mask. Ugh. That's not what I wanted. Because like this plant stuff here, this could look awesome if that was popping out a little bit more from the background. But yeah, I mean, in general, I think this is quite a strong scene. And it just needs those little extra elements. The gold detail would be really cool on this. Just get that popping. Maybe if this top area was treated more like a crown. So like if this whole thing up here was more gold, but has really kind of worn down. Dude, I think I see a little bit here as well. Vines could be really nice. I mean, when you look at the shot, right? There is this stuff here. Oh, now I'm seeing these. So these are very repetitive patterns that you'll want to try and break if you can. But like taking this type of vine work and really kind of bringing some down. Actually, let's put that in another layer. So if you can bring that type of detail down, right? This would be really, really nice. I can see a little bit here, but like that will allow you to actually use the kind of foreground elements that we're talking about, or the background. So like having some stuff that's coming down like this, that's just in the shot. And like these ones that are coming down could be like depth of field. Those could be super blurred out, right? And that kind of give you like a depth, like you're seeing through these. Maybe tone it down a little bit, but yeah, dude, that'd be really nice, I think. Anywho, really cool. Yeah, getting some pop on there would be good. Everything is in the same like roughness range. It's 938. Yeah, no problem, dude. I also give you a community because you're putting your neck out there and posting work for the critique. So you're in, man. You can post the work in the Discord now. So is it Burgo? Burgo is asking, current state of the sci-fi cabin, would appreciate some feedback. So there's a lot of storytelling going on in here, which is really good. The different thicknesses, you're part of the cult now. There's no way back. It's true. If you try and leave, I'll find you. Trying to control the lighting a little bit could help. Like, I guess I'm trying to figure out where the lights are coming from. I think this is reflective, so I'm guessing there's underlighting happening under here that's shining upwards. I don't know. But if there's more of a gradient to the lighting, that would be pretty helpful. He's laughs, but he isn't joking. I'll find you. So, using the lighting to kind of focus the view on like what you're looking at would be really good. The material of the fabric is going to be more of like a shader approach where you're using a detail normal, right, to make the fabric surface itself. But then there's also making sure that there's a bit of a Fresnel in the shader that kind of allows for the lighting to wrap. It kind of looks like there might be something going on like that. The sticky notes look pretty cool. There's a weird dark shadow around the outsides of them, which I think might be mipping. If you want to make sure that that doesn't happen, so if you've got like let's say you've got like a 512 by 512, and in here you've got sticky notes, right? What I would probably do is let's just pick a color here. So let's say all the notes are like this, and then you've got some that are more of like, I don't want to shift the saturation, just want to. So these aren't perfect, of course, right? But when you have a mask that is black, and you paint, what is, the scratch discs are full. Dude, this scares me. When you have like this type of stuff, let me find where the other one is. Oh, what am I doing? That's hilarious. Need to erase. There we go. Jeez. I think I might be getting tired, guys. There we go. So let's just say that these are your masks, right? And you've got your sticky notes. We're doing pixel art now, guys. It's gonna be fun. When the texture gets smaller and smaller, the mask is going to lower in res as well. And if that happens, you have to make sure, disable the layer mask. You have to make sure that you have the same color on the outside of the mask, if that makes sense. So that as the mask lowers in resolution, you get a little bit of color padding or bleeding of the same color on the outside of the mask. So like no matter how low res the mask gets, you're still gonna get the color on the outside of it. What I would actually suggest doing is just like, so how I tend to approach these types of things is like, just split this up into different sticky notes. Like, whoops. So let's say I'm just going to do it like that. And we'll just say that this is not perfect by any means. But these are your sticky notes. Okay. I'll just do that, even though it's not the texture we're looking for. These are not the textures you're looking for. So these are your sticky notes. You don't have to do an alpha if you take geometry and actually map it to these, right? Because then you don't have to do like a, yeah, you don't have to do an alpha check, and the shader will just be a little bit cheaper because of it. So just map to those, and then you can place them. And that might be how you're doing it, and I'm not seeing it. But yeah, I think though we need to understand what the focal point is. I'm guessing it's like this little sleeping quarters area and like the area where the person hangs out. I think those are glasses. Those probably need to be facing the camera a little bit more so that you can understand that they're glasses. And then I would definitely take a pass on the lighting to make sure that you're getting some really interesting gradients in the way that this area is being lit. Because overall, it's quite bright. And your shadows are really sharp. You can maybe like soften those up a bit. It looks like you're using some RTX possibly. That looks like RTX action to me. Some ray tracing. Yeah, and then understand, like, look at reference, look at games that are doing similar types of art style. Yeah, if the text is black on the sticky notes, you could do, like Barbarian is saying, you could change the color of the sticky notes in the shader, for sure. Yeah, in general, I think the scene is coming along. It just figure out what the focus is. Take another pass on the lighting so it's not so like overly bright on one side, and then I feel like something needs to be here, and you'll be in a good spot. All right, Felipe. This scene is pretty hot, dude. I really am a fan of this menu. So the only thing that I think, man, this is great. The resolution on the table is really low, and the newspaper needs a little bit more geometry if you're going to get that close up to it. That is crazy, this glass action going on here. This is cool to see. Nice breakdowns. Interesting materials. Nice variation in roughness. Oh, this is cool to see. Oh man, so when you had it upside down, or where the curve was more like this, I kind of like that one more. Because it encloses the scene, right? It kind of frames it more. Like that one before you turned it right side up. But when we look at the final image, there's some things that are getting to me, like when a table is like this in a diner, there's usually not legs like that, mainly because it's either planted on the ground and it's attached to the wall, or they've bolted it in at like a small space because people's feet need to slide in and stuff like that. This top piece could maybe be a little bit thicker, and your bevels are really, really tight and could possibly be a little wider so that it doesn't feel so geometric. Like this edge is like a razor sharp looking. Man, I love this shot. It's cool. And a pretty good use of the window. And like what's going on in the background is just enough to imply. So that's really cool. You're saying the wood looks a little too... So the wood looks okay to me because it looks artificial. Like that doesn't look like real wood. But it looks like the artificial wood color that you expect with fake wood. And it's similar to the tabletop, which is good. Yeah. Trying to see if there's other... Dude, this is dope, man. The way you've done the board is pretty nice. It's the same actually. Oh, these two? Yeah, that's good. That's good they're the same. Oh, that's funny. I see what you did with the painting there. Overall, this is quite strong. And I think, oh man, I think it looks good. There's a lot of storytelling going on in it too with the reserved. My partner's favorite number is number 2, so if you ever want to add numbers in your work, put a number 2. Let's see if there's what else is in here. Yeah, I don't have too much to say. The where you've got the grime and stuff is weighted pretty well. It's not like too crazy. The lights look nice. That plant looks really good. I kind of wish there was a better framing of that plant. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say. Nice work. Oh, maybe vents. I mean, you've got that up there. Maybe a socket or two, like for something to plug into. Condiments. Maybe those wouldn't be out. You want the ketchup and the mustard. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be here because it's breakfast and coffee. It's a cafe, you know? So, anywho, maybe pictures or health safety signs. Yes, that is a great idea, actually. Like some type of warning here. Scrambled eggs. Oh my God. Yes, please. Anyways, nice work. Really capturing the mood. And there's just enough stuff going on in there to kind of tell a story. So that's pretty cool. Bob, buddy, would like to hear your thoughts on this so far. Shot and composition are not final. So we've got these reference images from Adventure Time, of course. It's pretty interesting because depending on the angle, you get a detail change. So I'm trying to figure out how you approach that, because when you have this angle, it's really detailed. Oh man, and this is the first time I've clicked on it. So there's like a lot of, is that modeled? Or is that displaced or parallax occlusion mapping? Looks like parallax. It looks like parallax, I think. Yeah. Yes, parallax. Cool. I'd be really careful with the parallax. I mean, some of the elements are working really well. The walls look pretty good. I was going to say, like, depending on the angle you're seeing it, like, from the side view, the gaps are really narrow. And then from the top view, they really make them thicker. So, like, I would actually, if you weren't doing the parallaxing, which I think might be dangerous, I think it's actually adding too much complexity to the overall image. So you got to watch out for that. But when you're low angle, you could show a version of the material with thinner gaps. And then when you're up high, they're thicker. You could do that with like the shader, right? Where you're switching between two materials. Dude, the ceiling with the pipes. Is it really like that in the show? That's crazy. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else that's like, I mean, it is getting captured in it. How are you going to texture this? Oh, the pipes are, it's not pipes, it's branches growing. Oh, that's so weird. I like it. I haven't watched nearly enough of that show. My brother is crazy into it. I mean, this looks, color-wise, it's pretty accurate. I think for what you're trying to build, you're adding a lot of like, I mean, maybe that's what you want to go for, but you're adding a lot of complexity, which is kind of pulling away from the, check the Discord. Oh. Oh. Thanks. Oh, wow. And you see how dark the ceiling is versus the ground? I mean, it's a different lighting scenario, but yeah. Yeah, that's difficult. So if I was making the scene, I probably wouldn't try and use anything fancy like palm or anything like that. And I'd most likely just rely on the albedo and maybe the roughness for certain materials. Maybe even do some cell shading for the trees, because the trees are going to be difficult to texture right. I mean, it looks like you're doing some outlines with the cell shading, so that's good. You want to add your own PBR detailed flair to it. Okay, cool. I mean, this chair looks pretty good now too. I didn't actually look at that yet. This look, I feel like if you were going for that type of complexity, I think the floor would look better if it was following kind of a similar style. Because right now there's actually a conflict of style going on. Man, tree houses are difficult. Because like, I think what's making it so difficult to look at is there are a lot of dark areas in the way that you're approaching it, like in the between the pieces of wood, and that's just separating it quite a bit from the rest of from your reference. I like that foam, the soap, the suds. This looks really good as well. Yeah, this is a difficult one though, man. If you want to go for like a PBR approach, these props look really good, and it's these bigger tiling materials that are fighting you right now. Like this looks really good as well. So this guy here, the chair here, those are all reading a lot like the style that I think you're going for, and a lot of the other stuff like the ground and the wall and the ceiling just aren't singing in the same style, if that makes sense. But yeah. Greetings. Hello. Is it Sudokun? How's it going? You don't want to do cell shading though? Then don't. I'm just saying, like, that's how I would probably approach it. If you're going for a PBR, go for it. But it is very busy on the ground right now. I'm just saying. Okay. Ah, yes. So, in general, this looks pretty good. There's a nice variation of roughness in this one. I'm trying to think of so this kind of splattered. No problem, Bob. Hopefully it was helpful. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one you're doing. I look forward to the progress on it though. So this kind of dirtiness here, I mean, it all looks pretty good. I think what's going on right now is like this type of material. I guess this is kind of like a gold or like it's just too dirty. So it kind of comes off strange. What is going on here? Hang on. Man, I've been listening to some weird stuff today. Yeah, this works for me. In general, this is pretty good. I think the lighting is a little flat and could really help like push the materials a little bit further if the lighting was just a little bit more dynamic. Like if you had like a really bright main light source and then there was stronger shadows, and because it looks like it's in more of like an overcast scene, if that makes sense. I don't have too much to say on this one though. This type of this lighter stuff that's on here is kind of hard to tell what that is. It is definitely lacking some ambient occlusion. Yes, I agree with that. Or it feels like there's no ambient occlusion. Some crevice darkness would be nice. But this looks, I mean, this looks pretty cool. It's cool that you made this as well. This is one of the challenges, right? I would look at this metal material. And then, I love the bee on there. That's good. But other than that, I mean, I think it's the lighting. The lighting, the AO would help. And then a clearer direction of lighting to give you some highlights and some shadows would be really, really helpful. Jacob. Next step is adding some VFX like flying lights. Dude, I'm down with flying lights. Look at this madness. Oh, look at those party favors. Oh my gosh. I want to be there. Oh, no problem, dude. Is it Mvero? No problem, man. Thanks for submitting your stuff. So this is looking pretty solid, dude. I don't think I have too much to say on it. Maybe these trees feel a little wide at the top. Like the taper is more of like a bullet. The head of a bullet. Let's see here. Man, I love the variety of stuff that you guys are submitting. It's really cool. So right now the shape is coming off like this. Right? And I think if it was more of the classic shape, it could probably be I guess it wouldn't stick out as much. I don't know if that, because in this view, it looks pretty good. Man, these snakes. Ugh. So did you make all three of the, I guess it's like the three houses, right? Or the groups. Dude, there's so many things that you're adding in here that I don't even know if are actually in the, like, what is that? Is that a candy thing? Four houses. Thanks, man. House points. This is a nice addition as well. Are they that subtle in the reference or like in the real scene? Great work with the highlights here. I think maybe if that was pushed a little bit further. That could be pretty nice. Could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, it looks weird. It is capturing the lighting outside though. Maybe the stars are a little strong. Are those stars back there? I think those are stars. So those are house points. Oh man. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing. The gargoyles at the top are very repetitive for sure. You're talking about these guys? I think they're just repetitive because the this is drawing you into it, right? Like if you went for more of let's see if we can. So if it was more like this. Kill that smoothing. I think you wouldn't notice it as much. Oh, it's snow. I guess, okay. I mean, once you get the effects, like you're talking about adding flying lights, I think if you do the effect, you know how they always would cast a spell and you could see the snow falling on the inside? That'd be really cool to see. Is just seeing some flurries coming down. I don't know if you have that term. Flurries are like when it's lightly snowing or you see a few flakes. You get a little bit of flurries. Snow and flying candles, dude. That is freaking awesome. So I think... I mean, in general, I think this is looking pretty good. The tree maybe could have a little bit more volume to it. maybe where like the inside is a little bit on the darker. So there's some ambient action going on. In general, though, this is really cool, man. I think you need some. Oh, this is tough, but maybe like one other prop in here, and then slight variations in the colors or types of materials on these. So you kind of want to see like a red chest with some gold details, and then like these containers, maybe like a blue one, or it's difficult because I know that they theme everything quite literally around those as well. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. I think the crests up top being subdued a little bit might help. It could be really subtle too. It could just be like just a little bit less. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I like it. Your stuff has always been very good. Ah, look at this guy. Look at this dude. Nice. I mean, I honestly, I don't have much to say. Looks pretty accurate. Materials are interesting. The resolution of the panel lines is really good. Maybe what it's lacking is, so you see how you're getting a little bit of depth in this shape here, and like these sticking out is giving you some more depth. If you took some of those elements and just pushed them down or up, like if some of these, like these 3 panels, if those went inward just a little bit, that would help. That'd be really nice. If there were dirty patterns that didn't align, and it like showed that this piece can like twist or rotate, or has been moved before and then put back into place, but it's not exactly aligned anymore, that'd be cool to see the dirtiness between the two kind of have a little bit of an offset. But yeah, I think a little bit of depth shifting would be really nice. I know that they're quite smooth, so it's a little difficult. But I mean, the head is where a lot of the interest is, just by the way it's kind of put together. And I think if there was just a few elements that were pushed in, that would be that would look pretty cool. But I mean, it looks like the dude, man. Let me see what this. Maybe pushing the roughness of this a little bit more so that it matches the reference. And then let's see what's going on with the lighting. So where you have different types of materials, like you've got this metal and you've got this orange paint and then white paint, and then this metal and glass. So if you could get a different roughness value for where the orange is, did I say yellow? That was weird. Orange. So where the orange is, if you could get a different roughness value, that could be pretty cool. Nice. His little lighter doing thumbs up. Yeah, you could do some extra details. Wait, thanks, man. Thanks for the input. But yeah, see, there's different roughness values between these. Think about these being different materials. But yeah, nice work so far. I love this area right here. It's just because there's like a huge range of variety in the roughness. But yeah, cool stuff. That was the last one, guys. It is 10:07, a little over the time. I got to get out of here. What is going on here? Oh, that's weird. I'm going to look into that. Something came up in the Discord. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate you guys spending time with me and submitting some work. We're going to raid a channel if you guys want to be part of that. Let's see if there's a channel to raid. If you guys have any suggestions for a channel to raid, let me know. Let's see here. Browse. Go to the art creative section. Let's see here. I prefer if it was a 3D channel. All right, let's check out what Pontus is suggesting. Oh man, okay. No, I host that. I'd host that. I'm down. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna go check out what this guy's doing. He's a top painter as well, dude. Awesome. All right. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna switch over to this, and I'll see you guys later. Give this guy some love. All right, we're raiding in a few seconds here. We've got 65 people ready to raid. Let's do this.